Hey, what's up, my beautiful people? How's everybody doing out there? Been absent for a little bit. I sincerely apologize for that. It's we're in changing times right now. There's a lot going on, a lot of shifting, and myself included. So I've been making some changes. I've been having some shifts in my life, and even still, it's good to take some time to disconnect every now and then from this go, go, go energy, especially since Saturn went direct. A lot of karmic lessons, a lot of things coming through that are having us to look at our habits, our patterns, what we like, what we don't like, what we deem true and authentic in our hearts. What's up, Tiffany? So I've been doing some deep reflection on everything going on in my life and really looking deep within and being brutally honest with myself. And this is that Saturn energy mixed with the Pluto energy. And this week, of course, I'm back now. I have everything set up, and I had to move. And so I got back to my foundation, and I'm set up to go forward in a new way. Okay, we are shedding skin this week, and we sort of been feeling this energy of transformation and change for a couple weeks now. Like, it keeps coming in waves, but this wave that we're in right now, we're in the second phase of this wave, and it is powerful. This Pluto being stationed basically right now. Okay, like Pluto is the furthest planet that we know of, at least. So it's very deep, it's very under the surface, but you can feel it, man. It's so deep. And when any planet is stationed, the energy is the most potent in our vibration, in our consciousness. So this is a really great time to, we don't really have a choice. It's a time to listen within. It's a time to slow down. And, when we start to go, this energy feels like everything's speeding up, right? Everything's just going. And if we just allow that energy to take us and move us too quickly, we can stumble, we can fall, we can miss things, we can make not so optimal decisions, right? So we want to make sure that we're listening to the internal voice that is guiding us. But if we're getting too much in our head, which, this energy of Saturn, it's the physical world, right? It's our environment. It's the constructed reality that we have in our life, and it is changing. And with all this change, you could make a move. And if you didn't really consider or think about it all the way through, you could make a decision, say starting to work at a new place, or getting into or out of a relationship, or buying a vehicle, or making some kind of big life-changing decision. You make it too fast. If you don't really consider all the variables, then you could get to the other side of that decision and be like, fuck, I didn't see that. But then on the flip side of that, we can get caught up in this analysis paralysis, and getting caught up in that analysis paralysis will sort of do the opposite, right? Then we can't make a decision, so we make a decision to be indecisive, and that can be just as painful and terrible. So learning how to find that sweet spot in there. So whenever there is an energy that comes in, and you feel it, it triggers you. It triggers an emotional response. It triggers something within to take some kind of action. The key is to not take that action in a reactive manner. Now, and we have to be really in tune with what's going on in here to be able to catch it. Okay. And then when we do catch it and we slow down and we look at it, boom. Okay. We get that still small voice in our head that tells us or makes us feel a certain way. And we need to listen to that feeling. Okay. This week I deemed hell week. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, I don't mean like the biblical version of hell. I mean like what Navy SEALs go through in their training. So Navy SEALs go through a 6-month course, sort of like Navy SEAL boot camp, right? And I think it's about 7 or 8 weeks into that training, they go through what's called Hell Week, where that's where it separates, the people that are really meant to be doing that kind of work, like light workers in this situation, or the people that are going to allow their limitations to control them and go back and repeat cycles. Now, if you don't last, or if you don't make it through, it's not good, bad, or indifferent. This is sort of like, this is testing us at the deepest level beyond what we're consciously aware of. So the universe is sort of dragging us or pulling us through this energy. And that's why it's so friggin' painful. And if we resist it too much, then it's going to really hurt. Okay. So in the week of Hell Week in SEAL training, they basically, they sleep deprive you. Okay. You get almost no sleep. But they give you plenty of food, but you're literally doing PT, what I call a consistent smoke session. Like you see like these guys doing HIIT training and stuff like that. It's basically that while you're cold and wet and tired, very tired, like hallucinating tired. And you're constantly being splashed, in the water, out of the water, rolling around in dirt and mud and getting all chafed everywhere and just stinking to high heaven and it just doesn't stop for 7 days. Okay. Now, after like the first day and a half, you're sort of like already just in another world, just like numb to it. At least they give you food so you can have calories to keep yourself going. But it's in these times where you are forced to dig deep, deep down into your heart, because it's really, when you get to that point, it's a case of mental strength, right? You get that voice in your head. It's like, fuck, man, I can't take any more of this. This hurts so bad. This pain is too much. What the hell am I doing here? Like, I can't do this shit for the rest of my life, blah, 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 blah. And that is the internal voice that holds us back, because the truth is, we have the limitation is what we put on in here. We have so much more to give. When we think we're at 100%, we're really at maybe like 30 or 40%. If you've ever been in a situation where you've pushed yourself beyond limitations that you thought were your limitations, you'll learn and realize that, holy crap, I push myself harder now. Like even like during like working out, right? You push really, really hard. Yeah, you might puke. Yeah, you might feel all messed up for a little while. You might feel dizzy. But you know what? Like just like Arnold said in the original Pumping Iron, like I have no fear of passing out. I don't really care what's going to happen. Like you're in a situation where like SEAL training, there are instructors watching everybody very closely. They have medics on standby to look at you, to watch you, to make sure that you're not going to die. But you have to get into this mindset of, look, this is going to be life or death. I am going to make it through this or I'm going to die. And there is no other choice, because it takes that amount of commitment to self to rise above all the shit in the world today. We are bombarded. There's so much crap going on. And that is the Pluto Saturn energy coming together with the South Node, right? It's bringing out all this deep, dark stuff that is not working anymore. So we see, and the energy of like fighting and arguments and, like he said, she said. I mean, the political space is like a playground right now with little kids saying, nah, you did this, you're a bad person. It's all perspective, right? And people are creating stories and things going on to fit their description of what they think is right or wrong. Let me tell you, thank you, Brooklyn Rye. Is that how you say it? Brooklyn Rye? I appreciate you. What's up, Esoteric Fitness? I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going, like I like the whole psychedelic feel, but this is more, sacred geometry. It's the language of the universe. And triggered. We are in Trigger Town for sure. So anyways, back to my point. Right now, as Pluto is stationed, we have a lot of difficult aspects going on, but it's for a reason. Okay, we are being, and especially if you're, if you identify yourself as a light worker, starseed, like granted those are labels, but in order for us to understand or put ourselves in a direction that we believe we're meant to go or want to go, we have to be able to label it somehow, but don't get stuck on that identification of that label. You know what I'm saying? So Pluto being stationed to go direct at 20 degrees, which I'm going to go over that degree because it's pretty significant, is telling us, hey, look, all this stuff that you haven't looked at, that you haven't taken care of, all these, and these are karmic patterns that have gone on for generations, but in particular in our lifetime, since 1982 and 83, the last time that there was a Pluto-Saturn conjunction. It was in Libra, though, I believe. Okay, so we're clearing all that, in particular, relationship karma. All right, I just had huge epiphanies in the last 2 weeks, and it changed the course and the direction of my life. And I'm sure a lot of you out there, are having similar experiences because this energy is so potent. It's so deep, and we have to listen to it. We have to listen to it. The resistance will come up, okay? But Pluto going direct is literally pulling it out of us and saying, hey, you need to look at this. Because if we don't listen, right, timelines are shifting big time right now. And we're getting a glimpse of the next timeline that's going to be starting in January of 2020. Now, with this new timeline coming, it's basically asking us at a deepest level, are you going to go in the direction of love or fear, right? Yeah, I feel you. Doing whatever you can to protect yourself right now is incredibly important. Being around the right people, not isolating yourself, because that's easy to do too. But, where all these bubbles are popping of like toxic relationships, of things that are not meant to be in our life, that have finished serving their purpose for the dysfunction in our own consciousness to move out, to get released. And, so listening to that voice, though, when you make that decision to go in that direction that you feel, that you just know is right, even if it might hurt somebody else, even if it's, even if it doesn't make any logical sense, if you don't make that move, you will be stuck and miserable for the rest of your freaking life because you're not following your heart. And it may not make sense. The heart isn't logical, right? And everybody right now has a situation going on where, there's a lot of difficulty. It's some of the hardest things that we've ever gone through in our life, but that's where it's pushing us, and we will feel it. You will know if it's the right decision, you're going to feel it strong. If it's the wrong decision, you're going to feel it strong. All right. So keep that in mind, and, stay true to yourself no matter what, because in the end, everybody that you love or that or every situation is going to benefit from that in the long run. It may not make sense right now, but that's where trusting and having faith comes into play. You must have faith in yourself, faith in the universe, faith in your heart. We have to open our heart. Opening up the heart is so important. Get out of here, get into here, right? So Pluto going direct, Saturn just went direct a couple weeks ago, and that is the planet of karma. So we're bringing through this karma, these karmic agreements that we've had for pretty much our entire lives, and it's being thrown in our face, right? So as Pluto comes through now that is the deeper aspect of the yucky stuff under there that is just not comfortable. But it's also about power. Where do we give our power away? And that is going to be thrown in our face as well. And we're going to be put into positions where it's sort of sink or swim. Like, are you going to stand in your power, or are you going to give your power away? Now, standing in your power is a representation of self-love. Okay. It sometimes doesn't feel that way because, self-love and power sound sort of like, contradictory in some ways. But when we look at it and we take a step back and we observe it, standing in your power that's like, okay, I have enough self-respect. I have integrity. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. All right. And you have to do that. You have to be it, know it, do it. And when you do, and you stand in that power, whatever situation you have to face is going to have a positive result. And the positive result may not be right away. Okay. But this is a test to see, do you really trust yourself? Are you going to, because we have to go all the way through that energy of fear to get to the love. So it's like you're not going to know that the love is there on the other side. You have to have faith that it's there. And that faith comes through integrity, right? It comes through knowing who you are and standing in your power and not letting other people take your power away from you. And right now, there are a lot of people trying to do that. Okay? So stay in your truth, stay in your power. Whatever comes up, face it with self-love. And when you face it with self-love, then that vibration, that energy that you carry, people are going to see it and feel it. And that is where all of a sudden the universe is going to reciprocate everything from that place. Okay? But I'm not going to lie. A lot of this energy right now, even besides Pluto stationing direct, is tumultuous. It's making you question everything from every angle, really. We just had the sun oppose Chiron. Chiron is in Aries, which is our identity. It's our deepest wound. It's our insecurity. It's what makes us feel like less than, right? And it's messing with our ego. Like it's bringing up all these things that at the very core mess with our ability to stand in our power. It's challenging us, saying, "Oh yeah, what you got? Huh? What's up, fool?" Right? But when you do step in your power, when you go through that uncomfortable, I don't want to do this, I want to face this, you feel it, then you gain a little bit of confidence every time. When you gain that confidence, man, it just explodes. But the explosions feel different than like if it was an attachment or if it was some kind of like dysfunctional energy. Like I was talking with a mentor of mine last week, and saying, talking about this saying, it was something like, when you are in a place of fear or desire, things will happen to you and you will call it fate or something like that. Now, of course, we have desires, but when your desire is so strong or really strong, then you repel that energy, because really, at the end of the day, if your desire is too strong, it usually means that you don't really believe that you deserve it in some way, right? Like, oh, I really, really want to make $100,000 a year. Or I really, really want this, beautiful, guy or girl, but, they're probably not into me. They probably blah, 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 blah. All this self-doubt and a lot of self-worth stuff. But how do you know? You don't. Ah, shit. All right. YouTube is in HD. Represent. And the sun is our soul, right? So this is looking directly at our womb while Pluto is like, what you gonna do, bro? What you gonna do? And we have today, actually, we have Mars at 29 degrees of Virgo. So whenever a planet, and Mars is like that aggressive, like, gotta get the shit done, right? It can be awesome for getting things done, but it can be bad for getting frustrated and irritated. And especially in Virgo, it's like, no, I don't want to go to Libra. I don't want to, because, Mars is at detriment in Libra. So it's indecisive. It doesn't know how to make a decision. It's like, well, now I got to consider everybody else, and I just want to move forward, with my own stuff. What's up, Sugar Milk? So, Mars is coming up to the opposition of Chiron. And Mars, that's our divine masculine. That's like feeling emasculated, or, like trying to create a structure. And it's like, well, you're going to have to do this thing that you don't want to do in order to create this structure. And you're like, fuck, man, I don't want to do that. And then Pluto is like, but you're going to look at it whether you like it or not. And then you're going to try to suppress it or distract yourself from it. And Pluto's going to be like, I don't think so. Let's go. So, with all this going on, plus we have, Venus is in a good spot, because It's the ruler of Libra. So it likes being in Libra. So so the divine feminine is like, let's all just get along, right? Mercury is at 29 degrees of Libra today, and Mercury going into Scorpio is a very different energy too. And it's going to be in Scorpio for a couple months because it's going to go retrograde at the end on Halloween. Mercury is going to go retrograde on Halloween in Scorpio. What? So, Scorpio is deep. It gets to the core, the bottom of everything. It rules the 8th house. It's like very investigative, very, very psychic, very intuitive. And yeah, my pleasure, Sugar Milk. I appreciate you, man. So Mercury going to Scorpio is going to bring this depth to a whole nother depth because the 8th house is also ruled by Pluto. So this is another layer of Plutonian energy. Now it can be very sexual, but also manipulative, or it could bring up like, trauma from, something that happened back in the day, especially with the aspects to Pluto. This is like sexual trauma. This is bringing up stuff from childhood, sexual traumas or sexually based taboos, things like that nobody wants anybody to know about. And, Mercury, it's not really good or bad per se. It travels to the underworld and the overworld. Mercury is the messenger. So Mercury is our communication skills. So we can expect, the communication in our head to be getting a very deep, like intuitive, but with all this other energy, it's still like getting in your head about stuff. And this means that we really have to, Halloween this year is going to be nuts. We're really going to have to just take it slow. We have to slow down right now. All right. That's key. So, now we have Jupiter now at 18 degrees, which is nice, moving right along. Okay. It's moving towards the galactic center. And then, it's getting prepared to move into Capricorn in a couple months, which for me, I think that's going to be nice. It's going to be a good thing. Okay. But this is working with all this other energy, looking at our belief systems. Okay. What belief systems are attached to dysfunction and why? All right. So Jupiter expands whatever it's touching. Okay. And it's semi-square. No, I'm sorry. It's still kind of square over to Neptune, but it's like it went through its last pass. So now it's like, okay, all the hard shit's done there, but now it means that all this stuff is coming up and coming out and we're seeing it. This is more of that awareness energy. And, with Saturn back at 14 degrees, that has just passed the South Node. Now, that's also another completion. So we have a lot of this completion energy that has shed the skin. Okay, now that skin is shed. It's like this old vibration that we used to operate in is no longer functioning for us. It doesn't work. But now we're in this new energy, this new vibration with all these transitioning energies coming in saying, okay, we finished all the work that we had to do in that phase prior. Now we have to step into our power. But it's going to take all this to step into your power, give you the life that you really want. And whether you like it or not, you're going. Let's go. So, we all want to live more. We all want to have more. Like, if you don't have a goal in life to improve and to expand, then you're not really living. You're just dying, right? So this is really pushing us to, like, there is no comfort zone right now. There is no comfort zone at all. But that's a good thing, because what happens is this is like a preview right now for next year in 2020. 2020 is going to be nuts, and that's going to bring to fruition all the stuff that we've been going through really in this past like 10 years or so. Okay. But this next 3 months in particular, it's like, okay, we're seeing it and now we have no idea what the hell to do. And that means that we have to follow our intuition, right? We have to follow the love in our heart. And we're still learning what that is in this new way. All this uncovering of these different parts of our psyche are challenging us, really, to step it up. So we really need to make sure that, like where, our sleep is optimal, our nutrition is optimal. Our decision-making process is authentic to our heart. And it's like right now, manifestation is happening like this, bam, right away. So this can go in one of two directions. Like right now, like it's easy for all these voices to just chatter up a storm in the head. And if we allow the negativity, so even like watching like a movie or like a show has a lot of like action or, shooting, violence, stuff like that, we are embedding and coding that energy in our head. And it's going to activate these voices that are, self-doubt, insecurity, whatnot. And if we allow those voices to be prominent, then they're just going to go nuts, and we're going to manifest whatever those thoughts are bringing. Like say, for example, you're in a situation, let's say, I don't know, you're in a custody battle, right? You're in a custody battle and you have to go to court, and you keep having to go to court, and court sucks. Nobody likes that, but you're fighting for your children, right? And you've been treated unjustly, unfairly, but the world doesn't give a shit. The world isn't fair. But you stand up to it, you stand up for it, and you want to give up. You don't want to look at this stuff. You don't want to feel it. You don't want to face it, but you got to do it for your child. So what are you going to do? Are you going to allow the fear of standing up in front of an authority figure, or standing up to, the mother or father of your children, and let them tell lies and deceive and play their game and kick you out of your child's life? No. You have to face it. And there's some kind of situation like that, like say that, you're at a job and you ask for a raise. You've been there, you've done everything that is the prerequisite for a raise, but they keep slacking on you, or they're just sort of like messing with you because you're easy to mess with. Well, are you going to stay in your power? And are you going to allow them to tell you no? Or are you going to be like, you know what? No is not acceptable to me. This is what I want. I'm definitive. I know what I'm worth, and you're going to give it to me. If not, I can always go somewhere else or whatever, So I shave my head to cut off the connection to those voices. Too much negative energy in those strands. Hey, Hunter, brother. That actually, I did that a long time ago. And why do you think that, they shave your head when you go in the military? It's like a fresh beginning. It's like a new beginning. Even like when Britney Spears shaved her head, right? She was going through some shit. She shaved it for a new beginning. I did that once for a bodybuilding competition, right? To start over. There's a lot of starting over energy, no matter how old you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter what kind of relationship you're in, there's a starting over energy, and we need to embrace it. Okay. Bottom line. And all of this has to do with relationships. We are transforming the way that we approach relationships and our relationship to relationships. All right. In a healthy way. But in order to be able to, activate and achieve that status in our own mind, we have to do these hard things and see that we're worthy. See that, when we stand in the power of love for ourselves, and the people and the things, situations that we really do love, and we know we have 100% value for, that is bringing your power back to you. And many of us, especially if you're highly empathic, you've given your power away. You've allowed situations, people, places, things to break you down, to make you feel less than. And it's time to stop doing that. And maybe you have to adopt the attitude like, fuck everything. Fuck this. I'm going for what I need, for what I want. And, you put passion into that love. Passionate love for yourself will vibrate so freaking high. And it'll take time. What's up, Kaylee? It'll take time. But that's okay, because once we stand in that power, right, and we're going to be constantly tested, of course. That's how it goes. That's why we need our rituals. That's why we need, are the things that help us to create stability in a day-to-day sense. All right, that's, Mars going through Virgo is sort of aggressively establishing those day-to-day habits and restructuring all those habits to our highest and best good. And then, of course, we have the Sun going through Libra, which is, we got to consider everybody. We have to go forward, but consider their opinion, consider their thoughts, so there's a lot of cerebral energy going on with this heart energy. The key is, though, to have that balance. We can't let the cerebral energy take off or take over. We have to run it through the prism of our heart, then bring it back up, and then speak our truth. Okay? So with this, this Chiron energy, is very powerful right now too. Okay, because this is essentially our ego, identity. I'm so happy I'm able to help you, Kaylee. You're the bomb too. We all got this, right? We all got this. So this Chiron energy, being opposed to all this stuff, it's like, having a gaping wound, or like, I don't know, say having like stress fractures in your legs and still having to run a marathon, right? But you'll find, if you never read the book, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, got to read that book. That dude is a Navy SEAL. And that dude actually went through Hell Week 3 times. And he actually ran every day on broken legs. He basically had stress fractures in his shins. And you know how painful that is? But pain is in the mind. Like, maybe we might pass out from it. Maybe it might make us puke. Maybe it might make us feel like extreme shit. But when you face it, when you have that, like, I'm going to do this, and fuck you if you think I can't, I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove myself right. I'm going to love myself, and I'm going to get to the goal that I want to get to. One day at a time. That's all it takes. One day at a time, 100% commitment and responsibility. That is what this is calling us to. And when we do that, the universe is going to start bringing in all these amazing, beautiful blessings that require responsibility, that require self-love, right? And if we allow our fears, and if we allow other people and things to take our power away, we are going to get locked into that energy in January of 2020, and that's going to be the rest of our life. So we have to do this work now, because when we do, we'll be locked into that higher vibrational energy. And really, most of this is unconscious. And that's why, we talk about this kind of stuff, and that's why more and more people are spreading this word, right? Because if you think about it, being stuck in that fear vibration, fear is essentially hell, right? Being stuck in your head, anxiety, depression, schizophrenia, bipolar, all these diagnoses for mental disorders. That is hell. That is the devil, as Christians like to call it. That is essentially our own personal hell. There isn't one hell for everyone. Everyone has their own personal one, depending on what affects them the most in the negative way. And there are so many people in this world that are living in their own shit, in their own cesspool of negativity, and they invite it and they surround it. And, right now, like, it almost feels like, it's like, fuck, man, I've been doing this thing over and over and over again, and things aren't changing, and I don't know how to get out of this pattern. This is the pattern breaking this week. This is the awareness that we're getting to show that we have the capacity to make it happen if we give 100%. Okay? So I want to go over this inside degrees for Pluto. It's Capricorn, 20 degrees of Capricorn. And then, of course, the 23 degrees of Capricorn is going to be where the eclipse is in January. And that's pretty important too, but we'll go over that later. Okay? So 20 degrees is many different perfumes carried by a breeze. That's the philosophical feel of it, right? We bear within us many past lives, each one complete, autonomous, and emitting its own subtle, special fragrance. There are points along the journey when we must stand together with the whole lineup of our previous selves and follow out the journey they were all leading to. This is a formidable task. There is a lot to live up to. It grants you authority and conviction, and it makes it very hard to get started. In order to get anywhere, you must at times deny the awareness that everybody is there and do whatever you can do apparently on your own, but truly the depth of experience, the substantive inward development of the power of your inner drive, give it away. You are a destiny charged in a larger than life fashion. Being self-possessed is your watchword. There's so much to accomplish. And at the center of the journey lies self-knowledge and the overriding determination to clear the karmic slate, to free up what has been trapped and bound, and to come to yourself afresh. This destiny will is guided, cosmically supported, centrally relevant to your whole world, and you will do it. Turn the darkest of hours into the brightest breakthroughs by refusing to stop anywhere or to back down from your resolve to wake up this time and get on with the greatest path at long last. I mean, that pretty much sums up everything that we've been talking about, right? So this Pluto energy is clearing out thousands of years, past lives. I mean, lineage, karma, things that have gone through, generations of our family, and getting rid of it. But we still have, at least to a certain extent, free will, and you can see these things, and deep down, like, you don't want to repeat this pattern, see this thing, but, like, I know in my family, everybody's super stubborn. So I've been really focused on looking, hey, where am I stubborn? Where is my stubbornness holding me back? I don't want to be afraid when I am in my deathbed about things that I did not try to accomplish. And I don't want to be afraid of death, right? In order to do that, you have to sort of right now get into that place of, I am going to live 100% in me, in my power, or I am going to die trying. And that fear can make you feel like you might die, but if you're not dead, then then it's not there, right? That means it's over. And if it's over, then hey, you get a break anyways. Yes, the Cap eclipses, the Cap and Cancer eclipses have already been massive for me. It's been a huge year of transformation for me, for sure. So appreciate that insight, Hunter. The cycle ends here, exactly. But it's a huge responsibility. Like, we don't realize how deep that shit goes. And then now, as I've been breaking these increments of these karmic cycles, I've been seeing, wow, okay, I get it. I get it why my parents, were the way they were to me when I was a kid, because they were functioning from their level of consciousness. And when you start seeing things like that, you start to really understand that, forgiveness is easy, because we all going through some shit, right? Everybody is. So forgiveness is key. When you understand that from the bigger picture, all right, I get it now. And, and I want to be healthy and happy. And, so allow this energy to move you closer to yourself, move you closer to your strength. What's up, Sandra? So what we're coming up to now is the opposition to Uranus. So earlier in the year, March, April timeframe, we had the conjunction with Uranus with all the personal planets, right? It started in April, May, June area. Now we're going through the opposition. So everything that we were meant to learn from that conjunction, basically a conjunction is these energies are within, right? It's speaking to us within. And an opposition is when it's in our experience, in our environment, and these energies are sort of speaking to us from outside as opposed to inside. Okay. So first is going to come Mercury in the next few days, actually. Then will come Venus, which is our love, our finances, right? Especially in the 2nd and 8th house, that's self-worth with finances, self-confidence and other people's money, how we spend money, how we save money, our whole vibration when it comes to money. Fuck is right, Kaylee. Fuck is right. Then we'll have the sun. Of course, when it gets to Scorpio season, the sun is our spirit, our soul. That's our main energy, and these are all challenging aspects. I know. Right now, we have another fun situation going on with the sun in a T-square with the nodes and Saturn. The sun square Saturn is like the drill sergeant screaming in your face and putting you in check, right? Especially with all this karmic stuff going on and Pluto and all these other things that we've been talking about here for a half an hour. It's, you almost have to just laugh at it like the Mad Hatter, like, whatever. But, this is all, like sink or swim, live or die. Let's go and make it happen, and throwing fears into your face. Okay. No bullshit. But there's a power to all this, and all this tension, all this crumpling up within, it's purging all this crap. And it directly is related to our destiny, to what we need to, we're going to be aware of, what we need to let go of. Kaylee, you can always go back and watch it here on Instagram or YouTube. Okay. So that's no biggie. So, being square to the south node, what do we have to let go of? It's going to be right in our face, right? North node, where do we want to go? Where do we really want to go? What feels right? What is bringing us there? And this in and of itself is incredibly karmic. This is really showing us, like, where we're sabotaging ourselves. And today in particular, we have the moon quincunx to Uranus too. And Uranus is sesquiquadrate to Jupiter. So sesquiquadrate is like a frustrating, irritated, like, like that. You have that little brother or sister that just always fucking with you, and you're just like, shut up, just get away, leave me alone for a minute. But they won't. You have to learn how to just tune it out in a way and be okay and just let it flow. This is Trigger Town, USA, and all these triggers are going through from every direction. And that's why self-care is so important, because we need that strength energetically and physically. Okay. We need the strength to move through this slowly and efficiently. Right. You the man, Hunter. I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Get this word out. Someone else I highly recommend listening to, of course, is Sun Soul Astrology. My girl Maru. We got our super homie squad representing, and she's my mentor. Another great one is the Peace Dealer and the Leo King. I love his work too. So we're all connected to this, sort of same frequency and vibration, and spreading this word, because this word needs to be told. So really, if you equate this to, say, like Christianity, right? How Christianity talks about the end of times and how the Antichrist is coming, and that isn't out there, that's in here. That's our belief systems. Oh, Leo King's live on Instagram, and you're watching me. Oh, I appreciate that. Hell yeah, right? Hell yeah, super homie squad representing. Quincy Devon, I am a Capricorn sun and Aries rising and Aquarius moon. That's why I'm such an anomaly. I do astrology, but I'm a bodybuilder. It's unique, but no, I love it. So, what was I saying? Yes. we need to step into our power and step into our love. And as we go through this, we're going to be finding our tribe. We're going to be seeing what is our truth. And you're going to get around these people, maybe people you don't even know, but you're going to be like, oh, wow, I know you. Or there's going to be that, oh, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. I feel like I've met you before, right? I appreciate that. Well, this is actually sort of my podcast. I'm streaming live on YouTube right now, and I do a lot of YouTube work. So you can check me out on there, Spiritual Bodybuilder. And I appreciate that very much. Thank you. So with all this going on, we have to stick together. We have to grow. We have to stand in our power, and we have to just know that it's going to be all right. Now, let's see here. What's going on for the rest of the week. So tomorrow, Mercury goes into Scorpio. Yay! So that's going to make this communication even deeper. And it's going to be in Scorpio for a while. So just be ready. A lot of this is very intuitive too. So our intuition is going to be strong, but all that interference is going to be strong too, right? This is going to give us the ability and opportunity to dig deeper than we've ever dug before. And we need it right now. All right. So let's see. And then on the 4th, we have Mars at 0 degrees of Libra. And so that's going to be coming into its opposition with Chiron, like we already talked about. But Mars is in detriment in Libra. Oh, and the Sun is also in detriment in Libra, squaring off to Saturn, which is in exaltation in Capricorn. So, that makes us feel weak and vulnerable. Actually, there's, the Chiron aspects make us feel weak and vulnerable too. And with that added frustration, we need to learn to stand in our power, in our weakness, in our frustration. And that is basically why I'm calling this Hell Week. Hey, because when you're tired, when you feel like shit, when you're all chafed, when you stink, when you're wet and gross and just can't feel like you can't move your leg anymore, you feel like you you feel like you can't keep going, you must, and you will find that you can. You have that energy, you have the power within you. Okay, this can even mean ending addictions, ending toxic relationships. Like the toxicity will get so bad. Like if you're say you're addicted to, cocaine or something, like you're going to start getting all the side effects and none of the benefits. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to feel good. You're not going to get that usual high. Like it's just not going to be there anymore, which is a good thing. It's just not going to feel good in the moment. Right. Yeah, Maru is the truth. Maru is probably the most loving and intelligent human beings I've ever met. I love that woman. She has changed my life in many ways, and she's my soul fam. She's like my sister. So what's up, Maru? Love you. Yes, word of mouth is everything. I've built my entire neuromuscular therapy practice on word of mouth, and I do pretty well. And getting out here with you guys doing this as well, what's up, Cleorianne? Doing this as well, word of mouth, and then collaborations and everything. Like that's how we do. That's how we grow, and that's kind of like the future of doing this kind of work. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. So we gotta stand up, allow ourselves to be weak. Thank you so much. Allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to be weak. It's okay. Seek out the people that you trust and know that you can rely on to be there for you without judgment. And, band together. We all need each other right now. With all this energy and detriment and all these other energies that are just like, you changing, fool. You changing right now, and we're not going to let you not change. All right. So let's see. So as these energies continue to go into Scorpio, they're all going to not only oppose Uranus, but quincunx Chiron. Now, we just went through oppositions with the personal planets in Chiron and quincunxes of Uranus. So now it's being flipped, right? So what does that mean? So basically, that just means that we're hitting this vulnerability from a different angle. So now a lot of unexpected things are going to be coming up, guys. Like, this is a very twist and turns. We have no idea where it's going to go. So we have to embrace the unknown, because and through embracing the unknown, it's scary already. So it's like, going through like the biggest roller coaster in the world, blindfolded and not even knowing like when you get on or off. It's just, you're just taken. That's sort of what the energy is, because the energy is mysterious right now too, right? It's like, we can't really put our finger on anything, and it's bringing us in all these directions. And that's where staying in your truth, like, okay, it's bringing me this way. I don't know why, but I'm just going to trust and listen to, my heart. And so really the bottom line, the key here is to stand in your heart and stand in your power, and to just be in self-love. When you need to take a step back, take care of yourself, do that. If you need to get away from people that are just making you feel nuts, get away from them. It doesn't mean anybody's good or bad. It just means that it's making you feel this way, and you just can't feel this way anymore, right? It's just how reality is right now. And acceptance. We have to accept the changes, because the changes are bringing us to a better place. It just may not feel like that right now because we're still in the transition. And this feeling may go on, honestly, for a couple more months, guys. And we may get little tidbits of like validation here and there, but we have to stand in this unknown and trust and love and have faith. The point in all this is to solidify our faith in ourselves, in source, in God, and whatever you want to call it, so that when we are met with the real responsibility next year, boom, things are just going to fall in line. It's going to happen. It's going to flow, and it's going to be good. It's going to be hard work, but we're going to be in such a good place doing the hard work that it's not going to feel like work. It's going to be absolutely amazing, right? So this is boot camp right now. This is Hell Week. This is boot camp, spiritual boot camp. Because really, if you think about it, there's major spiritual warfare going on right now. And you can consider the astrological aspects that are happening on January 10th, 11th, and 12th of next year to equate to what the Bible calls the end of times or whatever. Revelations. Because people are going to be either completely lost or completely in their love, and that love is heaven on earth. That is the place that we desire to be, and it's not going to happen after we die. It can happen here. It is here. It's in here. It's all in here. Okay. So it's the social norms and it's all the conditioning that we've been led to believe that is bullshit, that does not align with universal law. It's like man-made laws versus universal laws. We have to stay in alignment with the universal laws in order to see the bullshit on the outside that we're conditioned to believe in, this fear-based society that we live in, because that is how we change it. And we are here to change it. Right. And that big change, starting 2020, it's a major marker. Even in sidereal astrology, I think the Leo King talked about this in his weekly report. Even in sidereal astrology, that Pluto-Saturn conjunction is at 29 degrees Sagittarius, which is a master number and the galactic center. So either way you look at it, and that's starting a new decade. So this is like new start on so many levels, like just going and going and going. I mean, this is the next level. You're at the next level. All right. So I think that's about all I really want to talk about here. Wait, let me see. Okay, no. Ooh, actually, on the October 7th, we're going to have the moon quincunx to the north node and Neptune quincunx to the sun, on top of all this other shenanigans. Again, that's just, these are layers. These are multiple layers of twisting and turning and unknowns and shifting to get us to where we want to go. But if we think that we know the answer, we really don't. Okay, sorry about that, guys. We think we know the answer, or we think we know how to get there. We don't know the best way to get there. And Source is guiding us to get there, but we have to let go of control. So control issues are coming up big time here too. Okay. So I hope that you guys got something from this. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, get the word out. Let's all work together to get this information out there. If you'd like a reading from me, you can message me on Instagram, or you can go to my website, trinityfitnessastrology.com, or comment on the video on YouTube as well. I'll get back to you. Either way, reach out to me. I'd be happy to work with you. If you live in Las Vegas, I also, like I said, I'm a neuromuscular therapist as well. I am also a combo practitioner. So if you need some detoxification, or if you have some physical pains, I'd be happy to help. I love you guys. I'm sending you guys all my best. Thank you very much for tuning in. Namaste. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace. Thank you.